Okay, that's all. Oh, I'd like to call, do I do it?
Yeah. Yeah, you do that.
I'd like to call the meeting to order at 6:02 p.m. And I would like to start with the land acknowledgement. We acknowledge that the town of Winnipeg Beach is located on First Nations Treaty 1 territory, the traditional territory and ancestral lands of the Anishinaabe, Cree, Ojibwe, Dakota, and Dene people, and the homeland of the Métis Nation. We respect the treaties made on these territories. We dedicate ourselves to move forward with Indigenous communities in a spirit of reconciliation and collaboration to make Manitoba an inclusive and accessible place for everyone who lives here.
Be it resolved that the agenda for the December 20th, 2023 regular meeting of council be approved as per the following additions and deletions. Addition, Lion Club's meeting at the Rec Center. Addition, email to mayor and council, food hampers / food cupboard. Addition, rec report, Minnedosa auction.
Could I get a member, please? Councillor Jarvis. Could I get a seconder, please? Councillor Kozlowski. All in favor? Carried.
Be it hereby resolved that the regular meeting minutes of the November 23rd, 2023 and the special meeting minutes of December 13th, 2023 be approved as circulated.
Can I get a mover, please? Councillor Jarvis. Could I get a seconder, please? Councillor Hall. Any questions or comments? All in favor? Carried.
Be it hereby resolved that council approves the accounts payable listing being check number 22232 to 22356, inclusive of checks, electronic payments, and payroll issued in the amount of $448,807.97.
Could I get a mover, please? Councillor Jarvis. Could I get a seconder, please? Councillor Hall. Just for those that may be watching and are thinking that it is a rather large amount being spent and accounted for at this meeting, just a reminder that there was only one meeting this month, so this is actually the equivalent to the expenditure of 2 meetings added together. Any questions?
I would just like to add to that, because it is an exorbitant amount, that it is the final payment of our school tax credit as well as the debenture, like the loan payments that were due for the water and sewer projects.
Thank you. Any questions? All in favor? Carried.
Whereas in accordance with Section 163 of the Municipal Act, the Council of the Town of Winnipeg Beach have made an interim estimate of all operating expenditures of the town for the periods of January 1st, 2024 until the adoption of the financial plan. Therefore, be it resolved that the following provisional estimates be hereby adopted. Government services, $200,000, protective services, $100,000, transportation services, $200,000, environmental health, $70,000, public health and welfare, $10,000, environmental development, $20,000, economic development, $20,000, recreation and culture, $100,000, fiscal services, $20,000, utility operating, $150,000, for a total of $890,000.
Could I get a mover, please? Councillor Jarvis. Could I get a seconder, please? Councillor Kozlowski. Call for the question. Comments? All in favor? Oh.
Have any of those amounts gone up recently?
No, they actually are lower than last year's interim budget, simply because we do expect to have the financial plan adopted earlier this year.
Okay.
So this is just giving us the authority without having some level of interim budget adopted. So whether it's wages, fuel, anything, we can't spend anything in the new year without adopting an interim budget.
Okay, thank you.
All in favor? Carried.
So item 7.1, procedures bylaw, looking to clarify if there is any changes that council's wanting to make so we can publish the regular meeting dates.
Any? You've all had a chance to look at it? Okay, I did notice that the April 10th meeting, the first meeting in April, is also during the spring convention, so we will need to look at either moving that date or just going to one meeting in April.
Okay.
And then the other thing was well, actually there's two other things. The December 18th meeting, if we are closing the office the week of Christmas, as we have in the last couple of years, that'll only leave the CAO and the administrative staff 2 days to follow up on anything from that meeting. So I'm wondering if we want to consider moving that meeting to the 11th of December. Thoughts?
Sure, that sounds good.
I mean,
Yeah. Okay. That wasn't my question, Councillor Jarvis. And then the last thing that I wanted to ask about was 7.1. I don't have it up right now. 7.1 is to do with the timing of the agenda and things being able to be added. I'm wondering if we could put a 48-hour, that things have to be added to the agenda 48 hours before the meeting. That'll give councillors time to review the information and actually prepare for any discussion at the meeting. And the exceptions to that would be is if it's for information only, or it is a time-sensitive matter that a decision needs to be made before the next regular meeting of council.
So in order to make an actual changes, when we're looking at just either rescheduling a meeting or deleting a meeting, the bylaw does not need to be altered for those items.
Sorry, am I looking, did I write down the right number? Is that the agenda? No, I'm looking at the wrong spot. Sorry, Sharon. Let me relook at that.
Nope, that
Second
Is
one.
that
is
Is
7.1.
7.1, yeah.
7.1.
is the agenda?
Correct.
Okay.
So in order for us to post the meeting, so there was two pieces.
Yeah.
We would have, if we're making change to the legislation, we will have to amend the bylaw and it will go through that process of the 3 readings.
Okay.
So for this purpose, what I understand, is there any objection to adding that clause that come January we'll be rewriting this bylaw or amending?
So the meeting dates can be changed without having to change the bylaw
Correct.
itself. But
Yeah.
my request about the piece about
the agenda.
additions to the agenda, having a 48-hour time limit on them unless it's other information only or time sensitive, that would require. So
change.
is there any objection to having the bylaw changed to indicate
Nope,
that?
I think that's okay.
Okay, so we will
Yeah,
work on
like
it.
48 hours meeting Monday at
Yeah,
4.
Monday, by the end of the day,
End of day of Monday. Yeah,
so
that's
that
fine.
we will all know to sort of take one last look at our agenda Monday night
I'm
or
good with that.
Tuesday.
Okay.
Great. So there's nothing to do with that right now.
Right.
Okay.
So be it hereby resolved, the CAO be authorized to sign the funding agreement between the town of Winnipeg Beach and the government of Manitoba for strategic infrastructure per capita funding.
Can I get a member, please? Councillor Jarvis, seconder, please. Councillor Hall. Any discussion, comments? Okay, all in favor? Carried.
Be it resolved that Council for the Town of Winnipeg Beach approve the 2024 emergency plan as presented.
Could I get a mover, please? Councillor Jarvis. Seconder? Councillor Kozlowski. And I take it you've had a chance to look at it. Any comments? Question? Yes.
Schedule 10 needs to be redone. It's all out of focus. When you pull it up, at least mine is.
It's a good schedule.
Oh, it's out
Schedule 10.
of focus, so it's just the upload, okay.
And also, when are we gonna put this to use? Are we gonna be practicing this? I've heard two different stories. That one is at the fire department, our ECO. The other one was supposed to be at the Legion. We need a backup. If something was to happen tonight, let's say a truck going through town and it gets into an accident and chemicals are spewing all over the place, and they got a downhill wind and it's going into the town, what are we ready? Are we ready for this tonight?
So we do have, we do contract out our EMO coordinator. If council would like to have a delegation or have a meeting with Don to discuss the plan. So this is when an emergency occurs. He does spearhead the whole process. I am just a pawn in his plan. So I do not have all the details and where the readiness is because it's not stationed here at this office. So if council would like to meet with our EMO coordinator, please let me know. And we can either set up a delegation or a separate meeting to discuss the emergency plan.
Yeah, for sure. Like I say, and this could be a backup. This unit here could be a backup spot in case tornado, say, comes in, wipes out all that south side of the town, wipes out the rec center, the rec, the Legion. Where do we go from there? So we need at least 3 different spots, right? We need all our information.
And I do believe that the EMO coordinator has stated that he does have his movable backup. A lot of the files are stored at an off-site location, and that at the time of, until the time of where an emergent situation has presented itself, it's almost impossible to have a backup for every location until the emergency arises. When would council like to schedule the emergency coordinator to come and go through the emergency plan?
In the new year sometime, January sometime.
In January?
Like I say, the sooner the better.
Okay. And are we looking at setting a special meeting? I assume that going through this plan will be a process. Are we putting that as part of the regular meeting, or are we setting up a separate meeting?
For sure. I'm sure that'll take a few hours.
Is there any dates that do not work for council in January?
We already have a budget meeting on the agenda in January.
January 9th.
We have Lakeline and on the 9th.
Yeah, another meeting.
So January 9th.
January's pretty full. Can we push it to February?
1, 2, 3, 4.
Sure.
You're okay with that, Councillor Kozlowski?
Sure.
Since you're the one that raised it?
No problem.
Everyone else okay with actually pushing it to February? We were a little bit busy in January.
February? Okay.
Yeah, I'm cool with February.
Are we wanting this before a council meeting or a separate date, morning, afternoon, evening? What would council prefer?
Councillor Jarvis?
Didn't the last time Don came, that was about half an hour, right? I think. Did he came? So
At a council meeting?
I think he came prior to a council meeting once before. Like, he's pretty quick about it. I think it was about half an hour for sure.
So at, let's say, 5 p.m.?
5:15, I don't care.
Okay.
That gives him
At a
time.
February meeting. Okay.
Provided, of course, that he thinks that that's sufficient time. If it's not, we may have to look at a separate date.
Is everyone in favor?
Is anyone in favor of us passing this at this point? Or do we want to table it?
We cannot table it.
I'm in favor of passing it.
I just don't want it to drop.
By legislation, we have to
Okay.
adopt a plan.
Okay,
Yeah.
all in favor?
Perfect.
Okay,
Right.
thank you.
Whereas invoice 2023-53 was issued to roll number 10600 for fire safety inspection on the following dates: July 7th, 2023, first invoice; October 19th, 2023, second notice; November 20th, 2023, final notice. And whereas invoice 2023-53 has not been paid, therefore be it resolved that council authorize $116 be added to the taxes of roll number 10600.
Could I get a member, please? Councillor Jarvis, could I get a seconder, please? Councillor Hall. Any questions? Yes,
Do
Councillor.
we know what the problem is, why she won't pay this?
Okay, that's not what isn't before us. What's before us is just the authorization. That is between EIPD and the property owner.
I have no other background
yeah,
information.
And it's not our doing. They've just, EIPD has come to us to ask us to add it to the tax roll.
Okay.
Any other questions? Does this continue to accrue interest, or will that be the final amount?
That's the
Okay.
final.
All in favor? Oh, sorry.
That is the final amount we add to their tax
But it accrues interest, same as taxes.
at the end
On
of
the tax roll.
next year.
Okay. Thank you for that.
Yeah, it's the tax roll that accrues interest, not the fine. right?
So,
Correct.
yeah, okay. Okay, we're good. Okay, so just to clarify, so that I've heard this correctly,
Yes.
that is a dollar amount added to the tax roll. It will be included on the 2024 taxes sent to this property owner. They will then have until the same deadline everyone else has to pay their taxes. And if this isn't paid at that point, it starts accruing additional interest as unpaid property taxes.
It becomes unpaid property
Okay.
tax if the tax roll is not paid, correct?
Okay. Sorry, we had heads bobbing at different times. One that those of you watching this can't see, so thank you for clarification from the mystery head bobber in the background.
All in favor?
We did. All in favor, carried.
Be it hereby resolved that council adopt accessibility plan update 2023 as presented.
Can I get a mover, please? Councillor Jarvis. Could I get a seconder, please? Councillor Kozlowski. Call for the question. All in favor? Carried.
Be it hereby resolved that the CAO be authorized to sign the service contract between the Town of Winnipeg Beach and Canadian Corps of Commissionaires Manitoba Division for bylaw enforcement services.
Could I get a mover, please? Councillor Kozlowski. Could I get a seconder, please? Councillor Jarvis. Call for the question. Any discussion? All in favor? Carried.
Be it hereby resolved that the CAO be authorized to renew the service contract between the Town of Winnipeg Beach and Quintex Uniforms, Mats, Linens for mat rental services.
Could I get a mover, please? Councillor Jarvis. Could I get a seconder, please? Councillor Hall. Question? Discussion? All in favor? Carried.
Be it hereby resolved that council authorize a blank size page at a cost of blank in the Interlake Travel Guide.
Okay. Okay, do we move now, or do we wait until we have a discussion on
Yeah,
the
you would
amounts?
move the second and then the
Okay,
conversation.
could I get a mover, please? Councillor Jarvis, could I get a seconder, please? Councillor Kozlowski. Any questions, discussion?
Are we a member of this?
We are, and
what
we
did
do
we
have
have in
members
last
of
time for-
council that sit on the board. And past practice has been a full page.
Full page at how much? was
A
it?
full page ad
1,100.
is at 1,100.
Further to that comment, could you please reach out to them again and let them know that it's Councillor Kozlowski, who is the council rep, and that they need to start sending emails to Councillor Kozlowski, as he is our rep on the Interlake Travel Group. Councillor Jarvis.
Do we have a copy of what we did last time? For the page? Or do we-
I didn't have one that I could find in my electronic format, so.
And what would be the deadline for this?
We do have till the end of January to look at that. Do you want to table that?
Can
till
we
January?
move it to the, first meeting in January and
And obtain a
we
copy?
might wanna do something with the old ad or whatever. I don't know what we've done in the past.
Yeah, I did reach out, and I have not been successful of getting.
They should be able to forward you one.
Okay,
Yeah, at least that way we can have a look at it, cause we might wanna do something different with that.
everyone okay with tabling the item?
Can I, sorry. So this was just authorizing the ad itself and the cost. Is your,
Okay, I see what you're saying.
Yeah,
I'm fine.
so can we go ahead and move that, but that we want to,
Yep.
but we'll
I
review
agree.
it before,
I agree.
so we can go ahead and vote on it?
And the actual
Yeah,
ad will
We
be.
will review.
be
Okay,
reviewed.
Yeah.
so all in favor?
Well,
Oh,
so
sorry.
what are we?
We'll continue with the
A
same
full
size,
page?
yeah.
A full page?
Yeah,
Okay.
full page,
1100.
but, and then we'll just, we'll put that on the next agenda for the next meeting
I
to review the
certainly
ad.
will do so.
Is the membership separate from that? I would presume so, and how much is the membership?
I would have to look, I don't have access to our software remotely, so I can't pull up our accounts to look up the membership. So I will, that will be coming as part of the budget, I will get that for you as well.
Yes, Councillor Jarvis.
Larry, next time you're there, just ask the next meeting.
Okay.
Stop
Hey.
it.
FYI, what do we pay?
I don't think anybody walked into there.
Merry Christmas.
Yeah. And no candy canes.
Let's move on.
Yes, be it hereby resolved that the CAO be authorized to renew the service contract between the Town of Winnipeg Beach and Milne Office Systems for photocopier and mail station services.
Could I get a mover, please? Councillor Jarvis, could I get a seconder, please? Councillor Kozlowski. Question or discussion? Councillor Jarvis.
Rental
No, Councillor
Jarvis.
Kozlowski, sorry.
I look a little bit like you ate that.
Councillor,
Anyways,
my
the cost,
apologies,
the
Councillor.
cost of that, and also for the rental for the 5-year term, I believe it is.
Right, so the attachments were listed on there. When inquiring about purchasing outright, it ended up being less than $200 a year savings, but the risk of not being able to renew the piece of equipment. And so the technology changes on a regular basis, and that's why majority of municipalities do lease these pieces of equipment. As you can see from the cost saving difference, if we would have purchased the previous or purchased this particular copier, it can't be repaired at this point. They have tried several times, we can't repair it. We would have been looked at purchasing another piece of equipment. And the schedule for the copy costs / service agreements, you'll see that this, with the new model, the cost per page is significantly lower, just as a result of the technology got better, so the less repairs that are on there. So purchasing a piece of equipment that's used on a regular basis, and the size of it, there is really no level of resale value because you only get rid of it once it stops working, like it has right now. We can only print in black and white at this point, and it is challenging with images, not being able to print as well. So if council would like to table this, but I believe that the CAO has given authorization as to what is best for this type of equipment, and leasing this with the lower service costs is our better option.
Okay, so once again, what did we do? What did we purchase it? How much? And how much is it to rent this for 5 years?
Okay, here, I'll call that up.
Is it not attached to the
It
agenda?
is, yeah.
Yeah, it
I'll
was
call this
attached,
up.
it was
No, I
there.
didn't see the purchase price on there. I'm looking at the finance there where it says 89.
So the important thing that the CAO has pointed out is that this equipment basically has zero resale value. It, based on the amount it is, which I think is very significant in relation to leasing versus purchasing. If it has no value, this is also equipment that technology changes frequently. And we are currently in a situation that supports the recommendation by the CAO to lease it versus purchase it because it has no value. We would get nothing out of it.
Yeah, but I'm looking again at the dollar figure. What are we doing for renting? What are we doing for purchasing?
Okay, so the purchase cost is $11,800 to purchase outright.
Okay.
Sorry, is that in the attachments there, Sharon?
That isn't in the
Okay,
attachments,
okay.
because through the email correspondence that the information was sent through, the CAO was given direction to move forward as see fit. This is to sign the agreement that the CAO saw fit. So the cost savings, now I will have to go back through my notes, because the cost of the mail station, we cannot purchase outright, and we will need to lease the postage equipment. The cost savings we're receiving from the $813 per quarter to the $633 per quarter will not be applicable, because the cost saving for that is based on the fact that we've got two lease agreements with the supplier. So there will be an additional $200 per quarter cost for our postage equipment. The copier pieces, we have to pay regardless. The per page we pay is regardless if we own the machine or we lease the machine. There is no option on that. So those costs, and that's where you can see when we look at purchasing, if we would have purchased this particular piece of equipment, our cost for black and white is 2 cents per page, 2.02, and color was almost 13 cents per page. What's happening with the new machine, because of the amount technology has improved, so the repair and maintenance is projected to go down. The copier page for black and white is now 1 cent per page and 8 cents per page for color, which doesn't seem like a lot, but if you realize the amount of copying that does occur for all departments, Public Works, Utilities, Recreation, Administration, Public, they do add up to significant amounts in the budget line.
And just to clarify, this is the email you sent out that 3 members of council
Correct.
replied to say we will go with whatever the CAO recommends.
So, correct,
Yeah,
and so
correct.
based on what was presented, if we kept this same machine, going to the new machine with the cost of the payments, it is over a 5-year period, $11,000 cost saving. But this is a decision of council. So,
And you did come to council with this request by an urgent email, and that is why it's important that all of council reply to all on an email that is sent to everybody, particularly when it is a decision that is of a timely matter in order for the CAO to do her job. So the majority at the time said that we would support whatever the CAO is recommending, and this is what the CAO is recommending. So it is not putting the CAO in a very good position if suddenly things change over a request that was submitted to council via email. Councillor Jarvis.
I think Larry just asked a question. If you want me to vote, I was gonna vote for Sharon.
Well, I understand the
like-
question's being asked, I'm just reminding that
A
she
question
did-
was asked and I
she
was
did
gonna
put
vote
this
yes
out,
for
yeah.
Sharon to do it.
She did
Yeah.
put this out to council via
I
email,
know, and I
and the
voted yeah, I'm
response
voting yeah
was
now.
follow her.
Like-
All in favor? Okay. Opposed?
I just got one more question, you're going too quick. So the price for that, the price of that machine or the rental is $23,000 roughly? And my response to the CAO was, I don't like to lease things, okay?
And that is understood, but there was a
Okay, thank you.
response by 3 councillors to advise the CAO that we would
And
follow.
I wanted facts on that, okay?
Yeah, and please note, like, the lease payment is $650 quarterly. But the copier charges, that's all included in the data that was provided, would be incurred regardless of lease or purchase.
And what's the term on the lease, like how many years?
5 years.
5 years, okay. Thank you.
Anything further?
No, I'm good, thank you.
All in favor? Carried.
(9.8) species at risk. Public Registry's Office seeking comments. Read that. So this is what I'm looking for. If there is.
So, the question has been posed by the CAO as a member of council, that this is of specific interest to, and is council directing administration to complete.
I have no interest in it.
Councillor Hall?
No,
Perfect. So received as information.
Yeah, received this information.
Stop building wind farms. That's what it says there. It is bothering them.
Number 9.9, request for rec center use and or policy. So this is for discussion purposes. We've had the request. There was an attachment, and this may follow suit as part of one of the additions. The request has come forward in reference to the possibility of authorizing use of the showers at the community center in case of emergency situations, as in this case it was a possible frozen water line. So there is currently no policy in reference with the use of the rec, aside from the status of looking at after programming and who has use of that. And so I guess past practice, normally the showers that are in the community center have been slated really for hockey. And after hockey games, after hockey practice, whatever has gone in. So there's really nothing aside from the fees bylaw that indicate the use. And so if council is looking at, does need to be some direction provided to staff as to whether or not this would be considered a permitted use of the facility if council so wants, as well as now segregating into the addition request of the use of the facility at no cost. And so I did bring for the attachment, aside from the fees bylaw, there really isn't anything that's directing authorizations of staff.
Any comments?
I mean, I would think the shower should be utilized for people actually using the rink. It's a little, we had this discussion a while back.
About a month ago.
People showering in the showers that aren't part of the facilities or aren't part of the activities going on in the rink. And I think this falls under the same line.
Councillor Jarvis?
I agree with Councillor Hill. I think it's a Pandora's box we don't want to get into. So.
yeah, I agree also with the 2 councillors that if we open this up, everybody will be coming in to use that shower. And again, it should be for only the people that are in the rec center unless they play hockey.
Who have paid for the ice rental.
Right.
I'm inclined to agree, and the emergency is something that would be covered under our emergency plan, not what, I mean, that's what should be defining an emergency, and use of our facilities for emergencies are things under our emergency plan, not what one might think is an emergency in their situation.
Not individual.
Yeah, not individual. It's definition of an emergency. I've gone to work dirty before.
Okay. And so then in reference with that, the request to utilize the rec center at no cost. So,
Yeah, just for clarification, Councillor Kozlowski, was this request made by you because you were approached by the Lions Club? So were you making this, adding this to the agenda as a councillor, or was this a request as a member of the Lions
I
Club?
was a member of the Lions Club.
So I just have a question, does the Lions Club pay for their meeting space at St. Bart's?
Yeah, we give them a donation. And seeing we do lots of work for the Winnipeg Beach area here, such as Canada Day, I think that they should be allowed to use the space when, of course, there is no available time at the St. Bart's Church because of the daycare.
Again, I think we're going down a slippery slope. We just imposed a very large tax increase on this community, and I think we need to be a little mindful of when we are providing things at no charge when we have a fee schedule. Based on the information here, it's looking like you're wanting a blanket entitlement. We discussed previously that agreements need to be signed, they need to have dates attached to them. Councillor Jarvis.
So in the fee schedule, Schedule B for hall rentals.
Yeah.
20 people, $25 an hour, is that comparable to your donation at St. Bart's?
Yeah.
So I mean, theoretically, it's moot, 25 for 25, right? You could just book the hall for $25 and how long are your meetings?
Again, we don't know when we're gonna be not using.
What's the, I haven't rented the room there, so what's the turnaround time? 24 hours?
I would have to see if Chris,
No
the
conflicts?
rec department has a schedule. Again, I'm looking at the policies that we have in place. I don't see that there's anything official of policy of council for the rec department bookings. So that is just handled internally by that department.
Okay, the equipment room downstairs, that's big enough easily for 30 people, right? You know, where we have express gates and everything?
Yeah,
Yeah, and there's tables and everything. So theoretically, that room would almost always be available within 24 hours. And would that constitute the $25 an hour thing, or?
I would assume so. That's, I mean, I can only go by what the legislation says.
So I
as well,
agree with
so-
Councillor Deputy Mayor Chandra, is that just go through regular procedure, just book the thing. As long as we can do within 20, and I think we have the backup, that big room downstairs is a good backup.
Mhm.
And that's actually a pretty good room down there.
Are there tables and chairs?
Yep, tables, yeah, it's a pretty big room. Easily, twice as long as this room is.
How many do you have at your meetings?
Pardon me?
How many do you have at your meetings?
Maybe 15, 20.
Oh, it's easy. Yeah, and $25 an hour. So, okay.
Once again, our donations the last 10, 12 years to the community, Donator, Sandy Hook, there's been about 68,000.
Well, it isn't a regular occurrence, right? It's just in
it's
time of
that's
need.
right.
So you have 24 hours, phone up.
It's sort of an
book your
emergency
uncle,
basis,
you're in.
like we can go to the church and say, hey, we got the kids in here that day, you have to go somewhere else.
Yep, that's fine.
So once again, everything's by donations by the Lions Club.
Yeah, the fee's pretty reasonable, 25 bones. That's pretty reasonable.
So then we charge everybody that wants to use that community center $25 or say.
So we should.
We charge those rates, and if we have an individual request, it is looked at on an individual basis. So the question was asked, do you pay for your meeting space elsewhere? And you said you do, and so the discussion is then, why would you not be wanting to pay for a meeting space in the community center when you regularly pay for your meeting space?
Yeah, once again, it's a donation that we give to the church. We're there usually 12 times a year. And once again, the Lions Club does a lot of work for this town.
I'm
Okay,
certainly not disputing. I know that the Lions Club does a lot of work for this town and supports this town a lot, but I will repeat what I said, which is that we just faced this community with a 12% tax increase. We can't start then turning around and giving away time and space that has a fee attached to it by our policies. Councillor Jarvis, did you have anything to add?
Nope, I'm good.
So, what happens now? Madam CAO?
We don't talk to Larry.
No. So if you're not looking at granting, no charge under this request, then no resolution is required, or, because I mean, or we can look at
Yeah, we're not changing it.
a resolution denying the request.
Well, we don't have anything in the fees, but currently in the fees bylaw, we don't have anything that accommodates that request.
We don't, but there has been extenuating circumstances such as the COPS, the COPP meeting. Council did agree to allow that organization to have
That one meeting.
its meeting there at no cost.
Yeah.
Can we in the future though start, I mean, if we're gonna do the COPP, start charging for that?
The COPP doesn't raise money. They don't have money.
No, I know, but it's still part of the hall rental, so.
No, I'm just saying, the COPP doesn't have money. They have no money to pay for the hall rental,
Oh, I understand.
is what I'm saying.
Well, they'll be getting grants, won't they?
I don't think that applies to them.
Well, who knows what they're gonna use the grant for.
So, getting back to my question, what would we need to do to proceed with this?
So I think what my recommendation would be with this particular item, as there is some conversation with Recreation and some decisions of council as to the vision of that community center for 2024. I would recommend that we table this item. There isn't a specific date that they are requesting, that Lions is requesting for, that requires a specific resolution. And I think that when we look at the overall intent of the use of that facility, once that's been clearly determined as per 2024, this may be an item that council may be willing to waive if there is a specific date and schedule and availability within the space, because there is some decisions that need to be made in order to set a new course of direction as part of the restructuring of the rec center.
Okay,
In
so
fairness.
now I'm really gonna drive you crazy because I'm changing my thought a little. Okay, just a thought for further discussion is, what if we agree to allowing it twice in 2024?
Twice for what?
Twice on an emergency basis. We allow them to, if needed, we allow them to hold their meeting at the rec center with the fee waived. They still need to sign the agreement, they still need to
With
fill out the
license.
paperwork. They may not need it the 2 times, it may never happen. But then we're not having to revisit this discussion. You would prefer that it wait until you see
I
the
think it's
table.
preferred that we table it until we really solidify the use and the vision of that center in
Okay.
24, as council may decide that until that's determined, there may not be
anything.
space available.
Okay. Councillor Jarvis.
Just to cover that, the building beside us is empty if they really were in a pinch. We have keys to that building?
I do anticipate getting keys tomorrow for that
So
side of the building.
henceforth, if there is a problem, then we have a vacant.
We have not said anything.
No, but I
up
mean,
to
in
that
an
building or
emergency
any-
situation.
The tour of that space is expected to be happening during our January 9th budget discussion
The tour?
of, yeah, I know you did,
Yeah, I saw that.
I think for the rest of council, as that space also needs to, there's gonna need to be direction of council and.
Oh, I know, but
to
in the
use
time
that
being,
space.
like if next month there's an emergency, we have something that's, anyway, never mind, ignore me. So,
So is the Lions Club expecting within the next bit, how often is the meetings?
Meetings we have, once a month.
So when's
One's a day shift,
January's?
the next one is, at nighttime.
So
The
when's,
nighttime will be no problem, it's the daytime.
yeah, so when's the January meeting?
I don't have it down there. It's usually the first or second week in January.
And is that the day meeting?
That'll be the day meeting. I believe so. Yeah, I believe it'll be on a Thursday, might be the 11th.
Okay, so we have council meeting on Wednesday, the 10th. If the space is required for the 11th, does anyone see any issue for me to table this item until the January 10th meeting? And then if the space is required, a resolution of council could follow at that point? Or,
Sure. I can get back to the president too of the Lions Club and, if you want a $25 donation, we'll put that to a vote.
so we'll table this item
We'll
until the
table.
January 10th meeting, and that way both parties can brainstorm. Sound good?
Very good.
Beautiful. Okay, next edition is the open letter to council re food hampers. I do not believe there's any action of council. It was just meant for information purposes only.
I did notice we didn't black out all the names,
yeah, I noticed that too.
the letters.
Get into the text.
The CAO response portion?
No,
I don't black out, I only, I like having when correspondence is received. The only parts I block out are like if there's email contacts, unless it is staff, like staff emails. Yeah. So where, just a first name?
Add last name.
Oh, there, my bad. Okay.
And there's another one like that too.
Okay. I thought I
There's just a couple of them.
I will have that corrected ASAP. Thank you for pointing that out. So, any discussion of council?
Any discussion of council on this matter? Well, I think the CEO has handled it well, thank you.
Be it resolved that council accept the committee reports as presented.
Could I get a motion, please? Sorry, I'm just looking for my resolution for committee reports. Councillor Jarvis, thank you. Could I get a seconder, please? Councillor Hall. Any questions or comments on any of the reports?
Just wondering how she got the number of 120 flooring mats.
And what report, sorry?
The rec,
The wreck.
or the Minnedosa
The
auction.
Minnedosa auction report?
Yeah.
Sorry, which number, Councillor Hall?
Under recreation report.
Yeah. That is part of that
Part of
addition.
it's an addition.
Oh, sorry.
That is how many they purchased
Oh,
at
it is,
the
eh?
auction.
yeah,
Wow.
Go into that.
We're gonna have a lot extra.
yeah. So under amount is just the numbers,
That's
and then the total is just what was spent for everything.
4,900.
Yeah, so,
That's a
yeah,
good deal. That's
yeah, 49, just shy of $5,000 for what would have been just shy of 60.
And we paid zero for the thing we really wanted. Scoreboard.
Yeah, next time.
Yeah, what we
Next.
really needed, we didn't pay a cent on.
No, we did.
I said amount was,
Yeah, at the
should've
end, the
been
total for all of it. they
Total
didn't.
for the 120 floor mats, the scoreboard, it should have been one beside the scoreboard.
Yeah, but how does she say total spent then is $4,900?
For the cost of what the auction bidding was
Was,
and
yeah.
the cost to go retrieve that.
Yeah, so
There were
these
costs.
costs under retail costs are what it would have cost us if we had to go retail to purchase.
Oh, I understand that.
But in exchange, instead of the 65,965, we did purchase one scoreboard, didn't we?
We did
There's-
purchase ones.
Yeah, so there should have been a one beside the scoreboard.
So what did we buy the scoreboard for?
Because our scoreboard, the horn was not functioning.
Oh, I know, I read it, yeah.
Yeah.
But what did it cost us to buy their scoreboard?
I knew that's what you meant when you said what for. Does it say down here?
They didn't break it down, so that was the total cost of everything, so,
I just remember.
I'd have to get that information.
Yeah,
Yeah, it wasn't,
again, I knew.
it was an addition and I did not have
That's
time
okay,
to
it'd
prep.
be interesting to see, that's all.
Yeah. it
I
would be.
believe the Public Works Manager gave us that information at a meeting he was at already in a verbal report. It was wasn't our budget meeting, what was he sitting here at? Was it a
I
preliminary
thought-
budget meeting? Yeah, he gave us the numbers on the scoreboard at a previous meeting in a verbal report when we were talking to him.
Anyways, on and on.
I will get that additional
Yeah.
information at the next meeting, because this was an
The breakdown.
addition that I did just receive today, so there was no time for prep.
Any other questions, comments? All in favor? Carried.
We have council roundtable discussion? No.
Did we miss Mimics?
Oh.
The MEC report?
Well, that was
Sorry.
part of it. So that was part of the
Sorry, part
committee.
of the committee reports, MAMEX Module 7, Community Loss and Grief. Are there any members of council interested in attending?
No.
No, just maybe share with Mary Jackson, see if she is at all interested upon her return. Okay, roundtable discussion. Does anyone have any committee reports?
No.
To share? Councillor Hall?
No.
Councillor Kozlowski? And just as a follow-up, Councillor Kozlowski, I believe at the last meeting you gave a very nice detailed report on the Seniors Resource Center. And that information is now, as requested, is now linked on our website. Must it, you always come with very nice detailed how your committee reports affect our town. So that's always great information for not just us, but for people. So thank you for that.
You're welcome.
Okay.
Be it hereby resolved that council approves the council committee and boards reports as presented.
Can I get a mover, please? Councillor Kozlowski, could I get a seconder, please? Councillor Jarvis. Any comments or questions on, really all we have is the East Interlake Wheat District?
No.
Is that what EIWD is?
No, Eastern Lake Watershed isn't Pat
Sorry.
on that?
Eastern
Mayor
Lake Water.
Jackson's on that, is she not?
Yeah, okay. All in favor? Carried.
Our finance officer has provided the data council is looking for, so the scoreboard was a cost of $615.
You're good. Again, I repeat myself, we got it for nothing.
For nothing. Yes,
And it works, the horn works, right?
correct.
Correspondence. Thank you for that.
Is there warranty with that?
How loud is the horn?
I want one in chambers.
It's your own horn.
Oh, boy. Be it hereby resolved that the correspondence be accepted as circulated.
Mover, Councillor Jarvis, seconder. Councillor Hall. Anything anybody wants to comment on or ask questions on?
That's a lot of
A
correspondence.
lot of correspondence. Okay, all in favor? Carried. Okay.
Be it hereby resolved that council moves in camera at 6:58 PM to discuss matters that are in the preliminary stages and personnel matters, and be it further resolved that any matters discussed while in camera be held confidential until such time as discussed in open council.
Could I get a mover, please? Councillor Jarvis, could I get a seconder, please? Councillor Kozlowski. All in favor? Carried. Before you shut that off, in case some are not joining us after, we would just like to wish the members of the community a very safe, happy, and healthy holiday season, regardless of what it is that you might be celebrating, and we will see you in the new year.
Merry Christmas.
Ina. What'd you do? We have no picture. There we go.
There you are. It's been sitting there for 3 months.
But people are liars.
No, I'm
No.
saying.
You're on.
You're on. Oh, good one, girls.
Well, the eyes aren't on the owl, are they?
No,
Oh,
No, but the mic is.
oh.
Good one.
let me pull my foot out.
Nice job.
Okay, are we on?
The mic is.
Good enough.
Yeah, that's good enough.
Is my good enough?
Yeah.
Okay. Be it hereby resolved that council moves out of camera at 8:24 PM and resumes the regular meeting of council.
Can we get a mover? Councillor Jarvis, seconder. Councillor Kozlowski, all in favor? Carried.
I should keep my hand up.
Do we have sound?
Let me just check.
What are you doing?
Have we made of sound? Just hang on, I'm just double checking to see if we have, as long as we have sound, we can keep going.
Yeah.
Because my message isn't going there, man. Just hang on 1 sec. Just checking with our off-site IT support.
Good riddance 2023. Sound?
I don't. Are you filming me now? We said I'm not looking. Okay, let's just go. Let's just go.
I know something.
Okay.
Okay.
Whereas several repairs for both the 2009 Ford F-350 1-ton and the 2005 International 3-ton vehicles were identified in the 2023 financial plan. And whereas both these vehicles will not pass safety and the repairs are significant. And whereas Resolution 2023-327 authorized the Public Works Manager to auction the 2005 International. And whereas a replacement vehicle is required. And whereas the 2023 transportation budget is under budget as a result of not repairing the above mentioned vehicles and dust control saving measures. And whereas the revenue for the 2005 International will be used for equipment purchases. Therefore, be it resolved that council authorize the purchase of the 2021 International at a cost not to exceed $78,500 plus applicable taxes on the condition the vehicle passes a current independent safety.
Can I get a mover, please? Councillor Jarvis. Could I get a seconder, please? Councillor Hall. Questions, comments? All in favor? Carried.
Be it hereby resolved that council adjourns the December 20th, 2023 regular meeting at 8:27 PM.
Could I get a mover, please? Councillor Jarvis. Could I get a seconder, please? Councillor Kozlowski.
Santa Claus.
That's a wrap on 2023. All in favor?